I achieved the middle class American dream. And then I found it to be meaningless. I found no sense of purpose in where I had arrived. I discovered the darndest thing. I discovered that I don't live independently. I don't survive independently. That I don't make the air I breathe, the food I eat, the water I drink, the house I live in, the clothes that I wear, the technology that I use. I do my part. I am not just a black man. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I look like one. I'm not saying I'm not a black man. I'm saying I am not just a black man. But so much of our cultural interaction is tied to the fact that I'm a black man. I am a human being, and so are you. Yet, by seeing me as a black man, this opens the door to the things that make us different. If an airline is flying over the Pacific Ocean on the way from California to Tokyo and it crashes in the ocean, how is the media going to cover that story in the United States? They're going to say that the whatever airline number such and such had so many people on the aircraft when it crashed into the ocean and no survivors have occurred. And then the next data point you're going to get is how many Americans were on there. And the rest of the story is going to be about those Americans who were on there. And because, again, we've reduced the people on that plane to the people who are on our team. There are people who are like us. This podcast is about helping us to look at the effect of us reducing people down to these one or two characteristics. MAGA, American, not American, black, white, Jewish, whatever. We have perfected the art of reducing people down to these lowest common denominators. And the worst part about it is we never think of ourselves that way. There is a reason why we don't compete against the people we love. And I mean really compete, like we compete against each other. Compete like we're going for the job. Compete like we're going for the girl or the boy. Compete like we're winning. These become reinforcing virtues that allow us to function in a market, in an economy, in a society that has made competition the virtue, that has made the fact that I could earn my way to the big house, even if that puts you on the side of the road carrying a sign. None of us want to be judged by the dumbest things we've ever done. Take note of how we look at public figures. Take note at how we talk to each other in social media. Immediately, we are encouraged to reduce each other to a statement we don't like, to a position we don't agree with, to a characteristic that's different from ours. My point is that we would be much more inclined to do unto others if we recognize them as ourselves. Truth is what happened. Truth is what actually happened. So the implications of that is that this must not be what I want. If it was what I want, I'd feel satisfied. I'd feel happy. I'd feel fulfilled. I am not just a black man. I am a black man, but it's not all I am. And that's not all you are either. We see each other as MAGA voters and libtards, Democrats and Republicans, whatever, Americans and foreigners, any number of labels, okay, all of which empower us to dehumanize each other Like, the only reason you could vote for Trump is that you must be a misogynist. You must be a racist. You must be a homophobe. That's the only reason. To reduce people down to that, there's no more conversation. To understand the person in your mirror, you need to take a truthful look at how you exist every day. And you don't need a degree for that. You just need to stop taking it for granted and actually look at it. How am I actually surviving? So that's the breadcrumb today. We need to have a sober look as to who we are, the person looking at you in the mirror. You need to assess the truth about that person, what actually is happening. And then you need to assess the implications of what you discover. And then take note how that changes how you look at the very person we spend a lot of energy hating right now.